discuss about pair of straight line. Well, as we know, the word pair means that we are going to have two straight line. So when we combine these two straight line, we'll get also a straight line. Now, let's say for example, we know the equation of straight line. Let's say for example, we have x minus y equal to, this one is a straight line, because a straight line always have like this kind of equation, y equal ax plus b. This is the equation of a straight line. Now if we have x minus y equal to, this one is a straight line, I can also have 2x plus y equal 3. That's this one also a straight line. Now if I have this one is a straight line, this one is also a straight line, I combine both of them, I will have x minus y minus 2 multiplied by 2x plus y minus 3 will be equal to 0. Now these two pair is going to be a straight line. That is pair of straight line, because this one was a straight line, this one also was a straight line. Now we are going to have a pair of straight line. Now from the general equation, as we see in the previous video, let's say we have ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal 0. This one is the general equation. Now if I have this general equation, how can I determine this one is a pair of straight line or not? Pair of straight line or not? Let's see. First, we know a pair of straight line. Let's bring this equation to the equation of ax plus y equals something, as we see in the previous one. Now I will have ax plus 2hxy plus, I will bring this one, 2gx plus by square plus 2fy plus c equal 0. Now if I take this one, I will have ax square plus 2hy plus 2g x. This x is going to be in factorial, because I will have x here, I have x here, plus by square plus 2fy plus c equals 0. Now I have this equation. This one is going to be like all, this one is going to be as a constant. Now if I have this one, I want to find the value of x with respect of y, so that I can get this general equation. We know if I have a polynomial of second order, if I found x, I will find x equal minus b plus or minus 1 delta 2a, and we know the value of delta, so I will have equal minus b. What is the value of minus b? This one is the b, this one is my b, so it's going to have minus 2hy plus 2g plus or minus delta. We know the value of delta equal b square minus 4ac. So b square means that this one I will have 2hy plus 2g square minus 4ac. What the value of c? This constant, this one is my constant, is going to be by square plus 2fy plus c is going to be under square root divided by 2a. 2a. Now, this value is the value of x. The value of x is equal to this whole. This one is with respect of y, but the problem there is will be a y square here. And here, this equation of straight line doesn't have a square, y square. Mean that to be a pair of straight line, this square root have to be equal 0. This square root have to be equal 0. So that if this one equals 0, the square root equals 0, it will only remain this one. And this one will be in the form of a x plus 1 equal a constant, of, which is the equation of straight line. Now, mean that to be a pair of straight line, the value under the square root have to be equal 0, which when we want to find the value of under the square root, which will be, that value will rename as delta. Will rename as delta. This delta is the value under the square root. Now, this value delta, if delta equals 0, so the equation is going to be pair of straight line. But if delta does not equal 0, so it cannot be a pair of straight line. Let's see an example. We have this one. In this example, let's say that show that the equation represents a pair of straight line. Pair of straight line. We have this equation. First of all, let me determine the value of a. The value of a. The value of a. The value of a equal 6. The value of b is going to be equal minus 6, because the general equation is ax squared plus 2h xy plus by squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal 0. Now a equals 6, b equals 6, 2h is going to be minus 5. Minus 5. So I have h equal minus 5 by 2. Now the value of 2g equal 14. Now g equal 7, because 14 divided by 2. Now I have 2f equal 5. Now we have e equal 4. C equal 4. Now I already determined the value of a, b, all the constant, the parameter. Now let's determine the value of delta. The value of delta, we have to know this formula. The value of delta, which is the value under the square root that we determined before, is going to be equal h g h b f g f c. So it will be the determinant of this one. If the determinant of this one equals 0, so directly it is a pair of straight line. Now, in my equation, let me determine the value of delta. If I bring back that example, delta is going to be equal the value of a. The value of a, it was 6. The value of h, it was minus 5 by 2. The value of g, it was 7. Value of h, minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2. The value of b, minus 6. The value of f, 5 by 2. The value of g, 7. Value of f, 5 by 2. Value of c is this one. Now, if we put in the calculator, there is a method to determine the determinant directly from the calculator. You will get equal 0. Since it is equal 0, so it is a pair of straight line. It is a pair of straight line. Now, we already answered the first question. Show that the equation determine. Now, found the separate straight line. We want to find the separate straight line. To find the separate, we just bring this equation. It's going to be like 6x squared minus 5xy plus 14x minus 6y squared, or if plus 5y plus 4 equal 0. Now, from here, I already did. I can bring this equation like 6x squared minus 5y plus 14 under x. Now, if I found this one, minus 6y squared plus 5y plus 4 equal 0. Now, from here, we all know how to determine the value of x from the previous one. It was minus b. What is minus b? Is this one. The minus and the minus become positive. So I'll have 5y plus 14 plus 14. This one minus b plus or minus square root the value. But this value, since it is a pair straight line, is going to be 0. So this one is going to be 0. Because in the previous we said that the value under the square root will have to be equal 0 so that it will represent a straight pair of straight line, which this value equal the delta. The delta equals 0. So this one no need to put because it will be 0. Divided by 2a. Now what is my a? My a equal 2 multiplied by 6. My 8 is 6. So it's going to be 2 multiplied by 6. So I will have 2 multiplied by 6. Now, from here, I will have x equal 5y plus 14 divided by 12. So I will have directly have 12 multiplied by x, 12x equal 5y plus 14. So this one is the equation. I can rearrange it to make like 12x minus 5y equal 14. This one, the equation of the straight line. Now, that is the, if we want to make, to see if the equation is present a pair of straight line, we just determine the value of the delta. If it is equal 0, so it is a pair of straight line. And if after determine that the value is, the delta is equal 0, if I want to find the separation equation, I will have x equal, I will rearrange it to make like the form of equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So that I can find the value of x. Now, let's see if the delta is not equal 0. As we see, now if delta equals 0, we already know it is a pair of straight straight line. But now if delta is different of 0, now we'll check. If delta is different of 0, we'll compare between A and B. A and B are same and H equals 0, so it's going to be a circle. It's going to be a circle. Why? Because the general equation will become like this one: ax plus, since the h is 0, it will not have this by square plus 2jx plus 2fy plus c equals 0. So from here we'll have ax square plus 2gx plus by square plus 2fy fy equal plus c equals 0. Now, and if I have this one, there is no a and b are same. Since a and b are same, it's going to be a circle. It's going to be a circle. It's like when you have, for example, you have example x minus 2 square plus y minus 3 square is going to be equal 0. This one is the example of equation of circle with center 2 and 3. If I want to develop this one, I'll have x square minus 4x plus 4 plus y square minus 6y plus 9. So we have the parameter of x square, parameter of x, parameter of y square, parameter of y, and the constant that is the same as this one. Now we will see that 1 and 1, a equal b and h equals 0. When we found this one, the nature of the circle, of the straight line, of the function, it is a circle. Now, if same thing, if delta is different of 0, we'll compare h square and ab. If h square equal ab, we'll have a parabola. Now we'll have a parabola. So now if we determine the nature of the curve, we determine first the delta. If my delta is different of 0, I will check compare between this one, h square and ab. If they are same, it's going to be a parabola. Now if delta is different of 0, because if delta equals 0, it's going to be pair of straight line. Now I will determine, compare h square. If h square greater than ab, I will have parabola. But now if delta same is different of 0 and h square is less than ab, I will have ellipse. Now that is the nature we saw for pair of straight line. The delta is have to be equal 0. Now if delta is different of 0 and h equals 0 and a equal b, is going to be a circle, and this one parabola, hyperbola, and ellipse. Now we are going to see like some example. In this example, what does it say? It said found the value of k so that this equation will present a pair of straight line. Now we want to find the value of k so that this equation will present a pair of straight line. Since we already know that this equation will present a pair of straight line when delta, or if delta equals 0. Now let's determine the value of delta. Delta is going to be equal k. The value of k now represents my value of a from the general equation. I have k. What is the value of h? Here, the value of h, because I'm supposed to have 2h equal 4. Now, value of h is going to be equal 2. Now, value of h is going to be 2 here. Now, value of g. The value of g, I used to have 2gx is going to be equal to minus 4. So g equal minus 2. I'll have minus 2 here. Now, h. The value of h is 2 here from the general equation, because delta from the beginning, we know that a, h, g, h, b, f, g, f, c. Now, I have the a. My a now is represented by k. I have h, which is equal to 2. I have g, which is equal to minus 2. I have the value of h2, b. What the value of b? The value of b here is 1, because the value of b is the one parameter, the constant of y squared, 1. F. The value of f is going to be, since I used to have 2f equal minus 2, so it's going to be f equal minus 1. Minus 1 here. The value of g here. The value of g, I already determined it is minus 2. The value of f, which is minus 1. The value of c, minus 3. Now, if you use this one, you are going to determine, first of all, you have to know how to determine the parameter. Video 1, you will see how to determine the parameter of the constant of each parameter. Now, and we have to know the formula how to determine the delta. Now, here, to determine this delta, I cannot put in the calculator 1, because now I don't have the value of k, is the value that I'm looking for. But the condition, this one have to present a pair of straight line, means that this delta have to be equal 0, so that it will present a pair of straight line. Let's see now how to determine the value of this delta. This delta is going to be equal this value of k. Okay, if I close this one, I will have 1 multiplied by minus 3 is going to be minus 3. 1 multiplied by minus 1 is going to be 1. Minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 is going to be 1. Minus 1 minus, because this one have to be positive, this one negative, this one positive. Positive, negative. Here, when you now minus the value of this one, 2. If I close this one and I close this one, the remainder 2 multiplied by minus 3 is going to be minus 6. Minus 2 multiplied by minus 1 is going to be 2. Minus 2. And plus, this minus become minus 2. Now, if I close this row and this column and this row, I will remain this one. 2 multiplied by minus 1 is going to be minus 2. And 1 multiplied by minus 2 is going to be minus 2 plus 2 is going to be minus 2. And the minus become plus 2 equal 0. Now, this one minus 2 plus 2 becomes 0. Minus 8 minus 16. So this one minus 4. So it's going to be minus 4 k minus 8 equals 0. So finally k equal 2. That is the fact. Now, the first of all, we want to determine the value of k. The value of k now represent my a in the general equation. I already know the formula to determine the value of delta, because I want to find the value of k so that it will present a pair of straight line. Now, to present a pair of straight line, this delta have to be equal to 0. Now, I found the value of a. The value of h is now k. The value of h, you determine all, so that you calculate the delta. To find the delta, the first row is going to present with a minus, a positive, and the second negative, and the second positive. Now, I have this first constant, because if I close this arrow, it's going to be k. To determine this delta, it's better you go from the tutorial of matrix you will understand better how to determine the determinant of a matrix here. Now, another you can bring